Hello, we are Team Romeo, and we worked on West augmentation for the studio above and below art studio. Our brief was to take the kind of building site, which is outside the William Gates building at the moment, and kind of explore different ways in which it could be changed. And we came at it looking at it like engineers and computer scientists, and came up with something which duplicated loads of behavior but was actually quite dull. So the next step was to ditch all of our functional specification and rewrite it completely, which is where we ended up with a final design which explores several different areas, namely creation and destruction via a VR headset which allows you to both place, create and destroy objects with things like a factory, nukes, exploring user choices by visualizing the amount of creative and destructive actions taken throughout the day using a projector onto a screen, and finally exploring the past and the future by allowing people to look inside the building using augmented reality. To do this, we used a variety of technologies. For the augmented reality experience, we used Unity and Vuforia to create an Android application, and for VR, we used Windows, Unity, Oculus, and Blender. And all of these technologies consistently proved that they would never behave themselves, leading to some quite frustrating moments this morning trying to set them up. So I'll pass over to the AR sub-team to talk about AR.
Okay, so for the AR, because we are doing something related to the building, if we just put a building on the desk, you won't actually know how high it will be, how big it is. So actually, we are planning to do it with some kind of surrounding building as well. But I'm not an expert to do some actual model of it. So I just put something like this kind of cube surround the buildings that we are planning to do. And all of this is surrounded by actually some kind of targets that is very useful for our AR to target. So actually we can locate in any target that you can find. So it's like the program will use some kind of hierarchy to determine which target to be used and put the model to there. And because we are doing a project about the West augmentation, so it's like we try to build something about the Cavendish model. So this, actually we are trying to search online to find a document that has some picture of it, and then we are building all these models from Unity to try to reproduce something that will give us some kind of show of how the Cavendish laboratory will look like afterwards. And the next thing is about, because we actually build a surrounding well of it. So we can actually move inside to the target itself, to the model, and so which we can actually try to explore inside. So it will actually give you a feeling of how it will be like when you're inside. And the other features we have in this is we have two kind of buttons. We have a buttons surround our building as well. So it's like these ones, one of them we have made it to change the model itself. So it's like if we have multiple models, or even later on in the VR project, we can actually build the models. So we can use these buttons to change the scene or change the model we are using. For example, the right-hand side one is like a tree that we can actually use to actually address it. So this one, when you look at it, you see there's a tree on there and there's a button. And when you put your hand to a button, you actually cover it and it knows it. So you just put the tree to the model that we have. So it's like some kind of scene change while you're having the AR itself. So next, it will be a VR part.
Okay, so while the AR part was kind of exploring the building that is currently being built there, the VR part was more about discovering how the user themselves would want to basically create the space themselves. So we wanted to let the user move around and also create the space itself. And
okay, so
sorry, and for that we created a system where which detects where the user is looking at.
okay, so after you create your Gibland, you can have some fun with shattering into pieces. We have two objects, a land bomb that explodes after a random amount of time, and a nuclear bomb that falls down from the air and shatters everything. So when you create your scene, you can put a bomb next to the objects, and our Unity script shatters all the surrounding into pieces and applies some force to make them fly everywhere.
Cool. So we also visualize this by tracking in particle clouds for good actions in green and bad actions in red, what actions the users were taking by networking the two experiences together. So you might be saying, but how is this useful? Well, it's very useful. because architects can use it to explore allow people to explore a building that's about to be built without having to expend resources on creating a physical model, which is more environmentally friendly and it's quicker, improves their workflow, exploring human actions in terms of creation and destruction, and innovative ways of visualizing data. Thank you very much for making it to the end of our presentation, but also to the end of all of the presentations. I'm sure, yeah. Enjoy.